Hello. I'm here to assist you in understanding rounding numbers. Today we are going to round numbers using representations, which means pictures or diagrams. After completing this lesson, you should be able to answer this quick check problem. Rounding numbers is used when you don't need an exact answer, when a number that is easier to understand would work better. In order to round numbers, we're going to use benchmark numbers. Benchmark numbers can be used when rounding to the nearest 10, 100, 1,000, or any place value. When rounding to the nearest 10, if we're talking about 2,642, there are benchmark numbers in the tens place. The number in the tens place is the 4. So the benchmark fractions for this 4 are the numbers above and below 42 that are in the tens place. The number below 42 in the tens place is 40. So it's the first benchmark number. The next 10 above 42 is 50. That is the second benchmark number. The halfway point between 40 and 50 is 45. These are the numbers we're going to use when rounding 2,642 to the nearest 10. When rounding to the nearest 100, we will use different benchmark numbers. The number in the hundreds place is 600. So the benchmark numbers are 600, and the next 100 number, 700. The number halfway between those is 650. If rounding to the nearest 1,000, 2,642 is between 2,000 and 3,000. And directly between those, the midway point is 2,500. Those are the numbers that we would use when rounding to different place values with 2,642. So, look at the problem. Thomas needs to round 1,567 to the nearest 10. First, he wants to find the benchmark values on the number line shown. So our first step is to find the number that is in the tens place, which is 6. The 6 stands for 6 tens, which is 60. The next 10 above 60 is 70, and halfway between is 65. So 60, 65, and 70 are the numbers used when rounding to the nearest 10. Now we are going to actually round numbers using a place value chart. In this question, you need to round the number shown to the nearest 10. So let's look at the tens place. How many tens do we have? 7. So, when rounding this number, we're going to round between 7 and 8. So first, let's write the entire number. How many thousands? 9. How many hundreds? 9. 7 tens and 9 ones. So, let's write down the number. 9,979. When rounding to the nearest 10, my benchmark fractions will be 70. My benchmark numbers will be 70, 75, and 80. I need to know if 79 is closer to 70 or 80. So all I have to do is see which side of the middle number, 75, which side is 79 on. Is it above 75 or below 75? It is above 75, so it is closer to 80. So that means 9,979 rounded to the nearest 10 is 9,980. Notice that when rounding to the nearest 10, we still write all of the digits with a higher place value. We still write the thousands and the hundreds, and we write the 10, but we don't write anything less. Zeros go in the column of all of the place values less than the tens. So this is our answer. You will also need to round numbers by looking at number lines. However, these questions are a little silly because the number line won't help you. It would if it was a larger number line. So I will show you how to answer this question without the number line. What is the value of 6,818 rounded to the nearest hundred? Find the hundreds place. I like drawing an arrow. Some people underline. The 8 is in the hundreds place. That means our benchmark numbers, are 800 and 900 because 818 is more than 800 and less than 900. The middle number, the halfway number, is 850. 818 falls in between 800 and 850, so rounded to the nearest hundred, it's going to be closest to the 800. So the answer is 6,800. Next question. And last question. If you're looking at a number chart, this is how you would round a number. Round 128 to the nearest 10. 128 is marked. The tens place is the 2, which is worth 20. The closest 10 to 128 that is less than 128 is 120. That is the benchmark number. The next 10 above 128 is 130. The halfway number is 125. Since 128 is in between 125 and 130, it's closest to 130. The answer would be 130. You can see the shaded square is closer to 130 than 120. It is only 2 spaces away from 130 and 8 spaces away from 120. If you're rounding numbers and you are exactly in the middle, for instance, 125 is right in between 120 and 130, we always round up. 125 rounded to the nearest 10 is 130. It is now time for your quick check. Once you have the correct answer to the quick check or a good question to ask your teacher, then move to the next station.